Okay, so on to the next track in the Sammy's Skull Serenade series, man. This one is Disturbed. We have reacted to Disturbed before. Disturbed, we've actually reacted to some real pearlers of theirs before, but I think I've only reacted to like 3 or 4 Disturbed tracks. This one's called Remember. I don't think I've ever reacted to that. Right, so that's the next one on this series. For those of you who want to learn a little bit more about this custom series offering, the link is in the pinned comment, man. Let's rock and roll, man. Let's see what we got. Let's go.
Washes over me, I can't describe it. Things I felt so long ago, I don't remember. Tear a hole so I can see my devastation. Feelings from so long ago, I don't remember.
Hard. Okay, this is a hard instrumentation, and I actually really like where they're going with it. I'm trying to sort of think about what this is, but I kind of actually feel that it's just it's like memory being a bit of a burden to a certain degree, where it's like trying not to remember the past, or I don't know, it could be the other way. It could be like trying to remember, but it actually kind of feels more like the pain and the tragedy, like dark things that you don't really want to remember, and you want to cast them out of your mind, right? So like remembering the past just brings back too much pain, right? So it's best to just ignore it and not remember it, because but then it also just sits there and festers, so you're not able to live because you know it's there and you know it's festering. It's better to actually just deal with it, right? Remembering is important. The only reason we actually have a memory is so that we can forge our future. There's no other reason for it, right? Yes, I mean, it's for nostalgia and whatever else, but human beings, right, we have that purely for the fact that we can remember the things we've done wrong in the past, and we can remember our traumas and our pain, right? And we can deal with that and forge the future better through that learning. That's what I at least believe. But anyway, carry on.
Blind your eyes to what you see, you can embrace it. Leave it well enough alone and don't remember. Cut your pride and watch it bleed.
I think naturally human beings tend to do that, specifically when they've suffered trauma, right? They sort of cast that into the back of their minds, and that's the one element, and that's the one thread that they will live their lives through that trauma, essentially. So everything comes out through that kind of projection to a certain degree, right? You've gone through a lot of trauma in a relationship, and then your next relationship somehow just doesn't work, even though the person's great, right? Because again, that thread is still there. You're working through that insecurity, right? So it's actually better to actually deal with that than opposed to like trying to push that out and cast it out of your mind completely, because you can't. It's impossible to do that. That's still going to be there, and unless it's resolved, you're never going to get rid of that trauma, right? Everything you do in your life is going to work through that insecurity. Everything you do in your life is going to work through that trauma, and it's going to come out like that. It funnels down unless you release the log from your chest and actually get that pain out, essentially. So fine.
Remember, cut your pride and watch it bleed. can't deny it. Pain you know you can't ignore. I don't remember.
I like that visual over there where the clock is actually turning back time, so it's going back into like the past, into the memory. I like that. Everybody wants to escape, but you can't escape that. You can't escape your own mind. You can't escape the traumas that have happened to you. They are what they are. All you can do is deal with them, right? If you try to escape them, they're always going to haunt you, and you're always going to live your life with that as the basis for your existence, unless you deal with it head on. Deal with it head on, and then remembering it won't be so hard, because you'll know that, okay, well, that's where I came from, but because of that learning, this is where I am today, right? And it won't be so painful to remember your past. But if you don't deal with that and you try and cast it aside all of the time, everything you do in your future will be determined by everything that happened in your past. And it's going to project that way out into your own life, which means you're always going to wear a mask, right? You're never going to be yourself. And it's always going to be this, you're going to put out a version of you that is not real, which is going to make you feel even worse because you're not being authentic, more so to yourself than anybody else. Stop. I'm just At first, I actually thought that this instrumentation was quite heavy, but as the songs progressed, it doesn't feel that much. It doesn't feel like it's that heavy. Do you know what I mean? Somehow, it's just really flowing quite nicely. In the beginning, I'm like, holy shit! And now it's like, no, it's actually not that, it's not as heavy as I thought it would be. Alone just to escape. You can't, buddy. You can try. You can try. It just unfortunately doesn't work. It fails every single time. Do you know what I mean? You just got to deal with it, man. Hey, he was really feeling that too, as well. Well, tune as well. That was cool. I must be honest, I thought that was going to be a lot heavier than it was, and I actually like the premise of the song because it is something that we humans tend to always do, right? We actually don't want to remember the things that caused us pain. We don't want to remember the things that put us in vulnerable positions. Those are painful things. So we try to cast them aside, and the more we try to cast them aside, the worse they get. As time passes, the worse they get, and the worse they get, and the worse they get. Do you know what I mean? So yeah. Anyway, you guys let me know what you think down below. That was cool. That was cool for a Disturbed track. I thought it was going to be a lot heavier, but it wasn't. You guys let me know what you think down below. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.